Something trending right now that I want to speak about is the so-called anti-LGBTQ bill that's being signed in Uganda, or that has been signed in Uganda. Now, the United States and different Western nations are actually getting on this African country about it and about their decision. And it became a subject that people are discussing. The way that I'm going to touch this subject, I'm going to react to what the Breakfast Club said about it. So the Breakfast Club did a reaction. They had a woman on, and she basically broke down different things that she says is in the law. And I listened very carefully to what she said. First, I want you guys to look at their reaction to what she says, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss it.
All right, let's jump right into it. I know you got a lot to get into. So Uganda president signs an anti-gay law?
Yes, the president of Uganda signed a punitive anti-gay bill on Monday that calls for life imprisonment for anyone who exchanges in gay sex. And anyone who tries to have same-sex relationships could be liable for up to a decade in prison. Now, the law also includes the death penalty for anyone convicted of aggravated homosexuality. Now, aggravated homosexuality, guys, is a term defined as acts of same-sex relationships with children, disabled people, those carried out under threat, or while someone is unconscious. It also includes having one gay partner being infected with HIV. And the offense of attempted aggravated homosexuality carries a sentence of up to 14 years.
Damn.
That's crazy.
I saw President Biden and even Senator Ted Cruz condemn the law. What did they have to say about it, Ted?
Yeah, President Biden, he called the law a tragic violation of universal human rights. And even Republican Senator Ted Cruz said that the Uganda law is horrific and wrong. And any law criminalizing homosexuality or imposing the death sentence is grotesque and an abomination. And a lot of folks, if people go check out his Twitter, there was a lot of conservatives that was saying, hey, there should be something for people that have sex with people that, knowingly have HIV. Then, of course, liberals were calling him out for saying he was a hypocrite for not supporting same-sex marriage. So there was a lot of back and forth on that, several articles about Ted Cruz and his position on this particular policy.
What can President Biden do besides condemn it?
This is my issue with the Breakfast Club. I don't think they really listened to what she said or what the law was actually supposed to be saying. And this is what my particular video is going to focus on. I know everybody has their talking points. I usually don't repeat what everybody says. I usually go through things from my point of view. From my point of view, none of the three people, Charlemagne, DJ Envy, or Jess Hilarious, were listening to what the actual bill was saying. All they heard was LGBT, and they went into, oh my God, this is such a tragedy mode. If you listen carefully to what the woman said, the law said that they would put a person to death if they had intimacy with a child. With a child. They took it as though the law said to give the death penalty to anyone who ascribes to any one of those letters. I'll just say it that way. But that actually wasn't what the law said, according to what the woman who is reading the law to us is saying. And her breakdown of it, her interpretation of it, she didn't actually say that. And this is something that I notice with a lot of people. They're programmed to think a certain way. Look at Jess Hilarious's reaction. Can we help those people? Was her reaction. She clearly must not have been listening. Either she was not listening to what was being said, or she's just an evil person. Because why would you want to help someone who's abusing children? That makes no sense. And this is something that the people who are promoting this story, they understand the psychology of people. They understand that people usually don't pay attention to details. They pay attention to the headlines. And the headline is going to be enough to get them upset and get them over on your side. But if you actually go into the details, what about that is wrong? Think about it this way. In the United States of America, there have been scandals that have happened right here in this country. Okay, what about the Roman Catholic priests that were getting caught left and right, going decades back in this country, violating, I'll use that word, little boys? By this Ugandan law, those Roman Catholic priests would get the death penalty. What about Bishop Eddie Long? There was a whole scandal with Bishop Eddie Long and what he was doing to little boys up in his church. By this law, Bishop Eddie Long would have received the death penalty if he was caught. And is that wrong? First of all, is it right for the Roman Catholic priests to be doing those to little children? Was it right for Bishop Eddie Long allegedly doing things to little children? I would hope that you would say no. But guess what? You have some people that won't say no, because there's a culture developing in this country where people are no longer outraged at the grooming, okay, of the little children. You see, let me talk to you about this subject matter. Actually brings up what's actually been going on in a different community. People don't want to speak about this particular aspect of what has been going on in that community. When you say anything like the president, like the Uganda bill has, people don't care about the clauses and whether the clause or not is right. The fact that you even speak against it, you know what happens? You get an immediate argument. If people love each other, it shouldn't be a problem. What people do in their bedroom is their business. Well, it ain't always about love each other, number one. It ain't always about what they doing in their bedroom. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the church. There's a lot of stuff that happened anywhere. There's violations happen. There's a great happening in many different places. And a lot of people that are growing up are psychologically damaged. It's amazing that this story is coming out at the same time as another story has just leaked. If you are into reggae music, you may have heard of a reggae artist named Queen Ifrica. Okay? Queen Ifrica, they call her the Fire Muma, right? She was accused recently of some sort of lesbianism, and she denied it. And she said the only experience she had was when she was raped as a child by a woman when she was 8 years old. 8 years old. She said that she was going somewhere. Basically, the woman knew her. The woman knew someone that she knows, got her to go somewhere, took her clothes off, and started forcing herself onto her, rubbing up against her. And she's 8 years old. She has no idea what this lady is doing. But she felt like she was being attacked. She actually recently came out with this story right around the same time as this Uganda thing. So by law, this lady would have been put to death for that. So my point is that people act like this stuff does not happen in that community. And that's not that's not a big part of the reason why that community has actually spread so much. Dr. Umar Johnson actually has had a video out. If any of you guys know which video I'm talking about, please forward it to me because I'll use it. I'll highlight what he said. He's a child psychologist. He's done some kind of session with children. And when he did the sessions with them, as a psychologist, as he's talking to them and going into the details of what, is bothering them, what often came out with a lot of people that are in the LGBT community is that they have some kind of trauma because they were abused when they were children by other people. So what he said was, these people are not actually gay. You're not really a lesbian. You're ascribing to this and you're caught in this rut because of what happened to you when you was a child. That's what he said. So I've actually witnessed that. Okay, I'm not going to be too specific because I don't want to, implicate people, but let's just say I know somebody who was abused when he was a child and was caught up into homosexuality, and his family wanted him to stop, but he felt like he couldn't. And it always went back to that traumatic incident that he experienced. So I bring this up to say that part of what the president of Uganda's bill is saying, I don't see what's wrong with it. Okay? They're brushing over, they're glossing over, they're sliding right over that part. They're not going to talk about the details of it. And the only thing they're going to tell you is it's a bill against the LGBT. Because they know that that part of it is not actually a bad thing. Not only do they know it's not a bad thing, there are people in that community who intentionally do this, knowing the psychological damage that it's going to have on people and knowing that it's going to cause their community to spread. Some of this stuff I can't play on YouTube. If you guys ever watch Matt Walsh, What is a Woman? And Tucker Carlson, I forgot the name of his documentary that he did. But he actually went and exposed that they have programs where they're actually looking for children to show things to them at a young age to influence their mind and traumatize their mind into going into that direction. Okay? So they're not going to tell you that part. They're going to act like that's not what it is. You see, it's just people that love each other. It's love. It's not all, first of all, I don't even believe that one bit. So if you guys are new to my channel and you want to know, am I a supporter of of said community? No, I'm not. I do not. I don't support that at all. I'm a supporter of the Word of God. I'm a supporter of the Bible. And I don't believe in that at all. And I'm not ashamed of saying that. I'm not going to come on here and insult people. I'm not going to call anybody any names. I'm not going to do anything that's, I'm not going to promote any violence on this particular channel. But I will say that I have my own beliefs and that's what I stand by. Getting back to the Breakfast Club, their reaction, they're calling out America for being hypocrites. But to me, they're calling out America for being hypocrites for the wrong reason. Okay? They're saying America is hypocritical. There's so many problems that's going on right here that they need to focus on. I was saying, okay, this is starting to sound good. You're starting to go in the right direction. Then he turns around and says, you have so many anti-LGBT laws over here that you didn't get rid of. I said, oh gosh, this guy. For those of you that don't know, Charlemagne promotes that agenda very, very heavily on his show. There's actually rumors about him that I'm not going to go into on this session that I'm doing. But out of all the stuff that he said America needs to fix, that's what he's talking about America needs to fix. You go in the right way. You're going down the right path, and then you just ran into a damn rut, into a brick wall. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Out of all the stuff he wants to talk about America needs to fix, he's talking about its own LGBTQ laws. So let me explain to you the issue with that. So if America fixed its LGBTQ laws and they eradicated every single LGBTQ law in the country, would it then be okay to stop the president of Uganda from having a bill preventing people from abusing children? It would be okay in that circumstance? No, it wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense what he's talking about. So, like I said before, on the one hand, I want to believe that they just was like an average person, not paying attention to the details, only get caught up in the headlines. There is a possibility, however, that they could know and they're still supporting it anyway. Now, let me say this. The other parts of the bill, because you could say to me, okay, well, that part, fine, but what about everything else? Everything else is not wrong. If you are not aware, in the Bible, that community and those actions that they do warrant the death penalty. That's actually a scripture in the Bible. And you're living in a society where people don't agree with the Bible. People question whether God exists. They question everything that is right. They say it's wrong, and everything that's wrong, they say is right. There's nothing wrong with doing anything. There's no such thing as morals anymore. The only thing that's really moral is what I say is okay. I meaning the Western society. That's the only thing that you're supposed to follow. and you're supposed to believe in. You're supposed to be outraged over the things that we say you're supposed to be outraged for. And you're not supposed to be outraged over the things that the Bible says you're supposed to be outraged for, because our society is superior. That's their whole way of coming at you. Even though their whole society is falling apart right now in front of our face, to all the people that acted like they were superior, they're more knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about. We as black people, we're doing things the old way. We need to go follow their way because they have technology and their way is this and their way is that. Their whole system is falling apart right now. Their whole country is divided right now. Their society is collapsing in front of our faces right now. If you're not all caught up into the shade room and Twitter and Instagram and foolishness all day, and you're actually watching the news and watching what's going on, you'll see that a lot of people are in panic mode right now. If you're not drunk and high and caught up into things that's distracting you, and you're actually taking a look at the real world right now, you will see that these so-called superior people don't know what the hell they're doing. And when I say superior people, I'm talking about how a lot of black people look down on themselves and look up to white people. That's what I mean. I don't actually believe the white man is superior to black people. I'm just talking about the complex that people have in their minds. Some people look at the white man like they God. This recent Just Pearly thing that, we just went through, you saw people coming out the woodworks trying to defend her, looking very, very stupid right now. They have some kind of inferiority complex. And even though all the proof was right there that this woman was foul, they just programmed to not see her in the light that she's actually in. Had Just Pearly Things been a black woman, they would have been dogging her out. They would have been calling her a hypocrite. They would have been calling her this, grifter, this. If she was a black woman, the whole reaction of people would have been different. But this ain't about her. Let me get back to the point. The point is that's what I mean when I say superior people. I don't want nobody saying that I'm trying to promote hate speech on here. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to clarify that right now. My whole point is that the West is falling apart. Why am I pointing that out? I'm pointing that out because a lot of people looked at the fact that the West was so superior in certain areas. They feel like they must be the ones that know what's right and what's wrong. Look at their society. Look at their countries. Look at their technology. Look at how they do things. Look at how we do things. It's like we're stuck in the past and they're the future. The future is looking pretty bleak. The future is looking pretty grim. If you're paying attention. If all you focused on all day is celebrity this and celebrity that, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So, getting back to the subject, Uganda is not my country. I'm not from Uganda. I don't live in Africa. I don't consider America my country either, but as someone that's just on the outside looking in, I don't see the bill as wrong. Okay? Here in this Western country, a lot of traumatized people, and not everybody's been traumatized. Let me be fair. A lot of people have been traumatized. A lot of people have been victims. A lot of people have been manipulated. And there's a difference of opinion in these countries. You may have more people that are outraged by it and don't agree. But the point is, in this man's own country, 98% of the people don't have a problem with the bill. His country ain't your country. Just like somebody else's house ain't your house. So that's my take on it. Like I said, I have no problem with the bill. I think people's reactions are crazy. They must not be really listening. And I hope that this video will shed some light and give you guys some things to think about. Once again, if anybody has that Dr. Umar video and knows which one I'm talking about, please send me the link because I'll definitely use it. There's a few videos that I have in store coming up on the subject of morality and how it's been destroyed. And this whole Western idea of looking at things is really destructive. I have some plans to make videos about that. Please hit me up. So that's my take on it, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. This is the King Lemuel Podcast. Peace.